Guess who came to story time, to story time, to story time? Guess who came to story time? All my friends did. There's Evelyn and Ivan and Brantley, Aaliyah, Rosie, Tomas, Autumn and Brooklyn. Guess who came to story time? All my friends did. Guess who came to story time, to story time, to story time? Guess who came to story time? All my friends did. There's Hunter and Noah, Maceo and Zara, Gigi and Gus, James and Ellie. Guess who came to story time? All my friends did. Guess who came to story time, to story time, to story time? Guess who came to story time? All my friends did. There's Libby, Thanasi, Aiden and Annabelle, Livia and Ezra, Wyatt, Alexandra. Guess who came to story time? All my friends did. And all of you are my friends, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. Today's story time, we're going to read a book called Yoga Bunny. And I've invited Miss Erica today to help me read this book by showing you all the yoga poses that Yoga Bunny does. So, if you don't have a lot of space where you are, I ask you to please pause this video and take some time to clear an area in your living room so that you can follow along. Are we ready? Let's get started. Yoga Bunny by Brian Russo. Thank you to HarperCollins Publishing for this read aloud today. One morning, Bunny crawled out of his hole, rubbed his eyes, and let out a big yawn. This is the perfect morning to do yoga, he said. Bunny dropped his head and arms down toward his feet, coming into a forward fold. Just then, Lizard came walking by. "Good morning, Lizard," said Bunny. "Would you like to do yoga with me?" "I hate everything about mornings. I wish I could go back to bed," Lizard replied angrily. And with that, Lizard stomped away. Bunny was disappointed, but he took a deep breath, placed his hands on the ground, stepped backward, and lifted his hips high up in the air, coming into downward dog. His friend Fox came hurrying by. Zoom, zoom, zoom! He was moving so fast he startled Bunny. "Out of my way, Bunny," he said. "I'm in a very big rush." "Maybe you could take a minute and do this yoga pose with me," Bunny suggested. "It might help you slow down." "No thanks," Fox replied. "I'd rather be in a big rush than do something so silly." And he hurried away. Bunny felt a little bit sad, but he took a deep breath, stood up tall, placed his hands in front of his heart, and balanced on one foot, coming into tree pose. Just then, Bird flew down, landing right on Bunny's head. "Hiccup! I have a bad case of the hiccups, and I've tried everything to stop them," said Bird. "Well," Bunny said, "maybe you can do this tree pose with me. It can calm you down, and that might help with your hiccup." "No way," Bird said. "I'd rather live with these hiccups than stand on one leg." And with that, Bird flew away. "Will anyone ever want to do yoga with me?" Bunny wondered aloud. But then he reminded himself that doing yoga alone is better than not doing yoga at all. Just as Bunny took a deep breath, stepped back, bent his front leg,
and reached his arms way up, coming into warrior pose. Two little mice came walking by. "What do you think he's reaching for?" whispered one of the mice. "I don't know, but it must be very valuable. We'd better reach for it too." And so the mice stepped back, bent their front legs, and reached their arms way up, coming into warrior pose, just like Bunny. As they had their arms stretched way up and eyes toward the sky, they noticed Bird flying by. Bird still had the hiccups, but he came down to join them, pressing his wings together in front of his heart, lifting up one leg, coming into tree pose, just like Bunny and the mice. All of a sudden, they heard a loud noise. Zoom, zoom, zoom! Fox came hurrying by and saw the friends standing in a circle, and he pressed his hands to the ground, stepped back, and lifted his hips, coming into downward dog, just like Bunny, the mice, and Bird. Bunny took a deep breath and lay down flat on his back, coming into resting pose. When Lizard came walking back and lay down just like Bunny. Bunny was so happy his friends had joined him that he opened his mouth and let out a big "Om." And everyone else did the same. "I know where I'm supposed to be," said Fox, not so angry anymore. "It's here. Thank you, Yoga Bunny."
Thank you so much, Miss Erica, for sharing with us today. I have my rabbit friend here today, and what does it look like he's doing? That's right, it looks like he's eating some plants. Can you tell me another thing that rabbits like to eat? Did you say carrots? I think you're right. Bunnies love to eat carrots. And how do they eat them? They munch and they crunch, right? Can you tell me what do rabbits' ears look like? Did you say long and tall and floppy? You're right. Rabbits have long, flappy ears. And how do rabbits move? Did you say they hop? They jump up and down? That's right, they hop up and down. So in our song, we're gonna do all three of those things. We're gonna munch and crunch, we're gonna make our arms into long ears, and we're gonna hop up and down. Song goes like this. Have you ever seen a bunny, a bunny, a bunny? Have you ever seen a bunny munching his lunch? He munches and crunches and munches and crunches. Have you ever seen a bunny munching his lunch? Okay, now get ready. We're gonna make our arms into long bunny ears. Bunny ears. Have you ever seen a bunny, a bunny, a bunny? Have you ever seen a bunny flapping his ears? They flip and they flop and they flip and they flop. Have you ever seen a bunny flapping his ears? Okay, what was the last thing? Oh, right, hopping up and down. See how you hop. Have you ever seen a bunny, a bunny, a bunny? Have you ever seen a bunny hop down the lane? Get ready. He hips and he hops and he hips and he hops. Have you ever seen a bunny hop down the lane? Okay, good job everyone. That was great. So, adults, thank you so much for joining us at Virtual Storytime today. We will be having these story times every Wednesday morning. If you don't already, please support the Mead Public Library by liking us on Facebook. We have got new programs and digital resources coming out on a weekly basis.
that may be of interest to both you and your child. So thank you once again for joining us. If you have any questions about your library card or your account, you can always give us a call at 459-3400 and someone will get back to you shortly, or you can visit our website and do the chat option, the talk to a librarian. And most days we have someone live that will be able to respond to your questions. And you'll find that button in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. I hope to see you again next week. I'm Allison, and that's the end of Storytime. That's the end of Storytime